live solo workshop. Bergs, what's happening? What's going on, Greg? You got Mr. Anderson. Yeah, you beat him. You and Andrew, really? You guys are friends? You guys know each other? That's awesome. Jonathan, hey. Well, thank you, Greg. All right, so guys, welcome to a new solo workshop where today we're going to work on starting solos. Sometimes it can be stressful, sometimes it can be weird, but it doesn't have to be. It can be pretty easy. So that's what we're going to be kind of going over today. So if anybody has any questions, start dropping them in the chat, and I will answer them as we're going. But I do want to talk to, we're just going to go over a bunch of different ways that you can start. I'm sorry, I'm waking up. I'm just waking up. Like, it was a long night last night. I did a 4-hour rehearsal with St. Owsley, and then I did a 4-hour stream. And I just became a person again. So I'm drinking my coffee. I'm hitting a sativa. So hopefully I'm just going to shake it off. But we are going to be learning how to start solos. So what is the first thing we want to do? So it's maybe like, generally you can start a solo with a single note, or you can do it with a slide, or you can do it with a trill. You can do it with a sixth. You can do it. There's so many ways. You can do a pull off into it. Like, there's just a bunch of different ways to do it, especially if you're coming from like a chord or something like that. So if we're going to go with just like a, let's just do a simple A to G. So. That's dog shit. All right, wake up, David. There we go. That's better. All right. So, we're in A. We're going from A to G. So, where would we start? So, remember that we go off chord inversions, like the different versions of the chord, right? You've got them all up and down the neck. So, once you know where all those are, you can kind of tell where you need to start. Because, again, soloing is just tracing chords. Remember that, boys and girls. So, we can start. So there, that was, again, that's just me tracing a chord. So I'm right, and that's the beginning of a solo, because from there you can just start over. So. Because again, you're going off of this version of A, right? So it's an easy way to start a solo. And then from here, if we're going to start from this first position, you can do it with a bend. You know what I mean? Or some kind of... So that's what we'll do. Hold on. Where you start your solo really has an impact on how the rest of it goes. You know what I'm saying? So a really fun way to do it, you can even start like, so if someone's doing this, slide up to this A here. See what I'm saying? So like there's so many ways to start a solo, and that's just in A. So if we were going to go for that first position A, we could start with a bend, or you could start even with that open A. There's so many things, but I'm just trying to show you guys, like there's so many different approaches that you don't have to do it one way. Because you want your solos to have variety. You want every solo to either kind of start differently or come from a different place. These are not real inlays. They're stickers to help you guys. I hate these stickers. I hate these things, but I did not want to fuck up my fretboard, so I didn't put inlays in it because I would have fucked it up because I did all this. So your solos always start with a bend. Well, an easy way to break that, start with a slide. So if you were gonna another way to do that would be, see what I'm saying? Instead of starting with the bend, you can start with a slide. And like, it kind of helps you get more on a roll. So a bend can kind of bring you to a stop, but you know, don't necessarily. So when you do a bend, it kind of gets you to a stopping point there where then you can kind of take a second and think and... So, that's not bad. Starting with a bend isn't bad. I start a lot of my leads with a bend. It's easy. That's why, because it's like the easiest thing to do is hit a bend, and like it conveys emotion. It's big, and like it gets it kind of flowing. But again, so many different ways. So if we wanted to just kind of like, you can always do like a slide up. So you've got this A here, right? And so we'll just kind of like. keep thinking to stop my loop up at the top there. Guys, if you haven't yet, please hit the like button. That helps other people find the stream. I know I forgot to make a post about it. Yeah, today's just, the week's been hectic. So yeah, we'll see. But I really enjoy starting with a slide up. I like that because if you're doing a lead, if you're also playing rhythm, because a lot of people they'll switch between rhythm and lead. Not many guitarists just do lead now, So if you're doing, now it could be kind of confusing on where to start, But that's where your chord inversions. This is where your chord inversions come in, right? So you've got to know that, like, if you're doing an A and a G, you've also got an A and a G, an A and a G, an A and a G. You've got them everywhere, up and down the fretboard, and that's why I tell you to learn all your chord inversions first, because it's super important. It's like the way to learn to solo. At least it has been for me, because I'm not book learned. I didn't go to school for any of this shit. I've just been figuring it out. Anyways, my bad. So you're doing. So where do I go? So I've got an A here. See, I started with that one. Okay. So, but if we want to stay on this kind of middle A right here, this barred A, so we can. See how I started there? I kind of threw that that fourth on there and started there, because Jerry would do that quite a bit. So you can always start that way too. Like there's no specific way to start a solo, but there are bad ways to do it. Like you don't want to. So if we're, I don't know though, because I'm gonna try to do it bad, but it's weird when you're like, how to do something and you. That didn't sound bad. I'm sorry. You just want to be, again though, that's why it's hard for me to like do it fucked up. Like now I will hit wrong notes pretty often, like, because that's just the nature of playing like improvisational music, is that you're gonna hit wrong notes, but it's all about just kind of figuring out where the right ones are. You really struggle with your chromatic runs. What's going on, Robbie? Analog Kid, Kino Bean, Gnome, Mark, C. MacArthur, KM, what's up? Hot Wax, hey. Easton, sorry, this is not a chillin' jam. This is a lesson. The chromatic runs are they're not the hardest thing to do. You're just trying to. Is it the timing that fucks with you, or is it just like knowing where to do the chromatics? Because you can literally do the chromatics anywhere. You just go until you hit something that works. Another good way to start solos is an open string. You can always hit that open string. going on, Larry Bird? Timing. When to start the chromatics. Okay, so like your chromatics, you're rarely going to like, do I start runs with chromatics? I mean, probably, but, so if we were going to, oh, Larry, thank you, man. So it's rare that I start a solo on a chromatic run, but like chromatic runs are literally just weaved in everything that I do. I'm always doing chromatic moves. Let's see. Changing my strings myself for only the second time. Well, Swowsk, I'm proud of you. Let's see. Where's Rose? Mr. Groot. Stop messaging my wife, man. It's weird. Just chill out on that. So don't do that. If you got to message somebody, message weird shit to me. Don't do that. She didn't ask for that shit. Man, that's one hell of a guitar. Thank you. Timing of when. Yeah. So again, it's, Larry, thank you so much. Let's see. So, another fun way to start a solo, you can start on like a kind of like a double stop on. And you can also like start in the middle of fucking shit, man. It's so there's so much freedom. Now I really enjoy doing like some pull-offs to start. So if you're doing like a let's see. Well, I'm not trying to blow up your spot, Mr. Grizz. This is just like you popped in and said that shit. So I'm just letting you know. It's not a big deal. So if you're doing eyes, you start this one off with some pull-offs. All right, guys, I'm sorry about that. Are we back? We're back. Okay. Sorry about that. There was something fucking up on my my computer or my connection or something like that. But anyway, so I really like to start out with something I do want to work on for solos is using small things that'll grab attention. Okay, so yeah, you really do you use double stop bends much? I mean, it's they're fun. But let's see here. So yeah, grabbing attention, very, very smart to do. That's why I really like to do oh man. That's why I really like to do like repeating lines or like really big bends or small things that'll do that are kind of like, so if you're doing eyes, again, those pull-offs, So like small little repeating lines like we talked about in the last live lesson are very invaluable. You really like repeating lines are great. But also the little pull-offs. And then like little soulful lines like the like anything that can convey emotion, people are going to connect with and they're going to remember. Right? So, again, other ways to start out like a lead, like even because so with Eyes of the World, it's a little strange. You can play in E, or you can kind of play in B. So if you're playing it in E, you do a B. So that's a way to do that. But if we're trying to start again, if you're doing an E, remember that you have all these different positions of E. You got an E here, and E here, E here, E here, E here, back up in here. So it's really just a dealer's choice of where you would like to start. That's why guitar is fun, right? Because you've got so many places you could start. Like if you want to start on the fucking D string, be like easy, or up here, or here, or here, or here. See, because again, we're just going between these different ones, but like when you're starting a solo, it is just dealer's choice. But you want to start in places that you're comfortable. So if you're comfortable starting with bends, try bends different places. So you can do a bend here. You think your main issue with soloing is you just rip one pentatonic key and try to vary rhythmic patterns all over the neck. Yeah, okay, so your chord inversions, that's like the most important thing. If you know where all your different chord shapes are up and down the neck, any tips on how to perfectly memorize the neck? I mean, I don't think you have to completely, over time, it starts to make sense. So like if you learn where all of your different, like your major chords, so if you've got an E here and you know that you have another E here and here and here and here and here, like if you know where all those are, you know where all the other ones are. So E is here, but you also have an F, and then you have an F here, 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 and here. Right? You've got them everywhere up and down the neck. And that's kind of how you figure everything out. So I don't need to know exactly what note I'm playing because I know that I am within one of the inversions of these chords that's going on. Right? If that makes any sense. The cage system works, but for me it's literally it's literally all about where the different chord shapes are. Because that also gives you a way, because you can rake through a fucking chord. So like, that shit's dope. Because you've got that E here and you always play in open E tuning, so chord shapes are totally different. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you make it harder on yourself? No, I mean, it might sound best for you or it's just what you like to do. And that's totally cool. And that's totally cool. You do what you do, but like you've just made it damn near impossible for me to convey things to you. But it is what it is, bro. You play how you need to play, because all I've done is figure this shit out. To see each chord in that position of the neck. Yeah, so let's you never use a pick. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so like yeah, and I get the cage thing, because that's more along the lines of like if you were in this position here, if you were in this little block area right here, you could do like Franklin's Tower. You could do this is an A. You got an A here, and you got a G here, and you got a D here, right? So what the fuck is happening? Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, for some reason, I don't know what's going on with OBS right now. It's pissing me off. What's going on here? What is taking up? Why is this working so fucking hard? Jeez, I'm crow. Being an asshole, this thing. All right. Is it because I'm telling you to like zoom in on shit? Whatever. Okay, learning scales and playing different genres where there's different ways of playing helps a lot. Absolutely. Play to different backing tracks, because I'm all about throwing in like some soul and shit. So here's one of these, here's some of this like lounge music or whatever. And like there's just a lot of ways to like play over shit like this. Like, so never underestimate playing to some different kind of music. You really have to stretch yourself. It's really, it's about mentally stretching. So like, because Jerry didn't just listen to the Dead's music. Jerry didn't just play along to the Dead's music. Like most of the shit that he played in Jerry Band is like fucking Motown and shit. Motown, reggae. Like, so he was listening to other stuff, not just himself. That's how he played the way he played. That's where he took his influences from, and that's where you get Jerry sound. So like, you got to practice to some other shit. So like I practice to like gospel backing tracks. I practice to jazz, definitely jazz, and throw in some Motown, throw in some funk, throw in whatever, lo-fi, just really, really kind of like spread yourself out. And like, I mean, you can even get into fucking metal. Like a lot of Deadheads used to be metalheads, and a lot of the dudes that do the Jerry stuff, you can rip fucking metal because it like lends itself almost perfectly, because it's kind of like classical. Yeah, bluegrass. Absolutely. Go play some bluegrass tunes with some friends and like really work on that dexterity, you know? But, what are you guys' favorite ways to start solos? What do you guys usually find yourself doing? Like, what is your habitual start to a solo? Because one of mine is a slide. So if I've got that going, especially when I'm doing this song, I'll slide up into an E from here, like, because I'll be like. I like to do that. Let's see. If you plan, you fail. You start pattern 1 lower strings with a hammer on and pull-offs. Okay. Blues backing tracks are awesome as a beginner. Yeah, so like blues is probably one of the easier places to start because usually the chord progressions are pretty rudimentary and there's, pretty straightforward. Chord tones till you get your feel. Okay, so you're kind of like more like and I'm a wave guy. So like my solos come on a wave for me, or that's how I envision it. So like I'm usually starting with some kind of run. Not all the time. Like if we're doing like a sugary, so if we're doing something like that, I'll kind of like, I can even do something kind of sweet. I'll start up here, so you've got a B up here. I'll kind of do a... So like I'll do like those nice little lines like that because like your dynamics are important, like the intensity of your picking, and like, so you see how I'll start out real light. So you're doing like soft to hard. Really giving your playing an erection, you know what I mean? Taking it from soft to hard. That's like how we like to do stuff. How do you get out of the habit of playing the same scales and runs? Well, okay, so what's the old saying? It's like learn what you can and then forget it. The major second is groovy with a minor pentatonic. Always have the flat 5, aka blue note in major minor sense. That's Chinese to me, because again, I'm a dummy boy. I learned how to play by ear and on the street, so there's some stuff that is like still lost on me. Like you can't throw numbers at me. I kind of know. Like I can kind of get it by context clues, but again, like I'm an idiot. I'm a different kind of player. I'd like it, that stuff that honestly it turns me off. Let's see here. And how do you get out of the habit of attack is super important. Yeah, just like your intensity and your like the dynamics are really important. The habit of playing the same scales and runs, like you forget, like stop yourself. So if you feel like you're doing it, like slow down and try something new. Like I'm always trying, like so every few weeks you'll see me add in like a new trick, and then I'll play it for a few weeks until I figure out a new trick. So I'm trying to add stuff to my arsenal. There'll be little licks or new things that I'll add that then I'll use all the time. Like, that's how I am with those sixths now. Like the sixths are a new thing to me, like within like the past year. So it's like, and I use them all the time now. So it's like, I just love them. Oops. What brand and gauge strings do I use? I thought I had a pack of them up here. I'm pretty sure I use the Diodario NYXLs, and I use skinny top, heavy bottoms. So it's like a 52 to a 10. Yeah, rakes, muting, pinch harmonics, those are also great. Does that mean you're starting on the 6 or landing there? So if I was doing that, I was starting on one. So I was starting on that one, but I also like to throw them in the middle too. Like they're really versatile. So they help you move. So if I'm doing, so I enjoy doing that. I like throwing those in. Let's see. Okay. I'm talking about just 6 as an idea, and that's what I'm doing when I'm... use your guitar knobs. Yeah, well, I mean, what? Okay. I always keep my tones all the way at 10. I don't know. And like when I'm doing this stuff, my volume is always maxed out. When I'm doing live stuff though, I've got my amp pretty much dimed, and then I'm working my volume on the guitar. And that's just an easier way to keep that dialed in, and then I can get as loud as I fucking need to ever, like that I'll ever need to. Let's see. Let's see. Do I think an expensive guitar or amp is more important? I think, well, I mean, as long as your guitar is set up okay, like if you've taken your guitar somewhere and like the frets are nice and the pickups aren't terrible, like you can make like a Squier Strat sound pretty good. Like you can make those pretty okay. You can make an Epiphone sound pretty good. I think at that point though, it's on you. It's on you, and then on your fingers. And then, yeah, an amp is important. Something that you can get a good sound out of. Yeah, it's very important. So I would spend more on your amplification if your guitar's okay. Now, if the guitar is just like a piece of shit, don't spend just $100 on one unless you're gonna like mod the fuck out of it. Don't do that. Spend like whatever it costs to get like not a Bullet, get like a Squier Strat or something like that, or like, you know, an Epiphone Les Paul or an Epiphone SG. Yeah, you can. Let's see here. Well, Mighty Vapor, thank you. Okay. To ask how to do the loud part in Terrapin Station, there are a few loud parts. Um, let's see here. How would I approach the soloing near the ending? The shit. Whatever. Is that a Prisma guitar? No, I built this guitar. When they sing Terrapin, yeah. Let's see. You had an operation on your left hand. Can you play the Dead with only 2 fingers? Yeah, John Mayer does mostly. So I think it's like. What the fuck? How do I not remember that? I'm sorry, guys. I'm out of it. I have barely slept. Jackson is a good brand too. Okay, playing metal. Yeah, and like, it's just, you know, get a guitar that works. Get better. Get a decent amp, especially if you're trying to like play out and stuff. Like if you're just going to if this is just a hobby and you're not trying to like play out or anything like that, just get like a decent little like a Fender Champ or something like that. Just something tiny. So you're not like blowing people's ears out. But if you're going to play a show, I think you need to get something with some balls. Your pinky and ring finger are shot. Okay, so you've got these two. You can Django Reinhardt the shit out of stuff. Am I a fan of Fish? Yeah, I like some Fish. I don't get Fish the way I get the Dead, though. It's like a lot of people have been like, hey, will you do like some Fish lessons? And it's like, probably not, just because like I don't know how to teach Fish. It's not like I love Fish. I will listen to some Fish, but like as far as like teaching people how to play it, I'm like, not really. Not really me. All right. Let's see here. Another idea for starting a solo. You can always like, let's see here. What would be a, so if we're just you can always do that kind of thing. Those are always fun. You do the slide. And don't be afraid to hit some vibrato on that bitch, all right? Another way to start, you know? Or you can hit it with like an arpeggio. Something like that. But again, we're in B minor. So like we know we've got a B minor here, got a B minor here, got a B minor here, right? So I'm really partial to a slide. In, and also, like I said before, the pull off. So if you were gonna do that with this one, it's almost kind of like the beginning to Brown Eyed Women, the that kind of thing. And so, like, take a page out of Jerry's book. He wasn't too good. He wasn't too good to slide into shit. You know what I'm saying? Slid into shit all the time and started with bends all the time. It's just that stuff is easy and it's big. It makes an impact right off the bat. But you can also can't underestimate starting somewhere with like an open string or like. All right, we're back, I guess. What the fuck is happening? Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. There's something up with my shit right now and my brain. All right. You can also start with a chromatic. See? And I like long bends. Do you guys ever do long bends going in? That one's always fun. I guess it's a pre-bend. And I always like these. Where you could put your pinky on the thing under. It's a country thing, but it's really cool if you can like throw it into other stuff. Those are fun too. And like another thing, if I could pass it on to you, is just kind of like think about what you're saying when you're soloing. Like try to turn it into a conversation. Like literally, literally think of phrases. So like if you're soloing and stuff, like think of like saying something, which is what I would suggest, because like there's imitation only goes so far. So don't lean on that. Don't lean on learning something a specific way. Like do it to get better, but then forget it, right? So learn and make your fingers do stuff, but forget that shit. You gotta be a player for you. So how would you start solos? How do you play this lead? So like learn some Jerry leads all the way through, something like that, just so you can kind of get the idea of how stuff works, or learn a Jimi Hendrix one or an Eric Clapton one or a fucking Trey lick or something like that. Learn that stuff, but then forget it and do it how you would do it, because your voice is the most important thing. Because I have Jerryisms and I do stuff, but I'm not Jerry. I'm not that player. I'm not even that kind of caliber of player. It's like I do what I do okay. Like I'm not the best, and I know that, and I'm fine with that. I'm cool with how I play guitar. I'm always trying to get better, but like I'm comfortable in my voice because I know that I have a voice and I know that I have a way that I do things. So if I could suggest one thing, it would be like put the work in to figure out where your voice lies and how you want to do things, like how the music connects to you. Don't spend your life trying to play just like somebody else. Don't spend your life just trying to play like Jerry, because like there are the dudes out there who have spent literally the better part of like most of their life trying to play just like Jerry. And some of them are damn good at it. Some of them are really fucking good at it to the point where you're like, what the fuck? But they didn't cultivate a personal style. Like that's all they can do. That's all you're going to do is just, you're going to play like Jerry over stuff. And like, yo, bro, I'm getting on stage Sunday for the first time. Well, congratulations, Sam. Everybody congratulate Sam Lopez. That's great. But I think that it's a mistake to completely, the hardest thing in music is to sound like yourself. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, all we are is an amalgamation of our influences. So the best thing to do is to get as many influences as you can and bring them into your playing. That way you will sound like you because there's nobody else doing it quite like you. So I think that like now getting into the Dead, you will be playing a lot. You'll be playing a lot of different styles of music, but it's not the same as actually playing different styles of music. Like go play blues, go play funk, go play jazz, go play some gospel, play some fucking metal, some 80s shit, play some fucking 1940s big band, whatever. Like just bring in as many influences as you can. Listen to some Zappa, some fucking Talking Heads. Like bring in a bunch of different shit. Adrian Belew is a great influence to have, some King Crimson and shit. Like get on it. Like learn some fucking prog or something like that so you can actually bring in some other stuff, because like I really enjoy bro, we are deadheads, we don't know what. We don't know what amalgamation is. Amalgamation is when you bring other things together and make them a new thing. Like we are just amalgamations of our influences. That's all we are. We're products of our influence. So with that, don't just listen to the Dead. Don't make it your life priority to play just like Jerry. Don't do that. Learn some stuff. Play some chromatic lines. Like play the music. Like, because that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. I'm going to be playing this music, but I'm going to be playing the music the way I like to do it and the way I want to do it, Like, I'm not doing it to be somebody I'm not, or even like trying to fill that spot. It's like I fill the music the way that I feel like it should be filled. I'm not always just trying to ride Jerry's nuts. I'm genuinely trying to play like myself and like feel the music, because it's an emotional thing for me. And it should be for you too. It shouldn't be math. Music shouldn't be math to you, or I don't think so. If it is, great. Like, you're probably a way better player than me. But like, to me, it's all about the experience and the emotion. I don't care about the specifics. Like the fact that you're telling me I'm doing a double stop in 6, like that, to me, that's just 6. That's what I'm doing. And that's fine that it's a double stop in 6, but I'm just playing guitar, man. And I should know it if I'm telling people. But again, you guys asked me to do this stuff. It's not like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start teaching people stuff. It's like, nah, people ask for me to teach you how I solo and stuff. But then you just start getting like philosophical bullshit towards the end after I've just kind of bullshitted showing kind of how to start solos, whatever. But you guys know what this is. I'm your friend. We're hanging out. I'm not a fucking guitar teacher. But yeah, if I could impart wisdom, it is fucking just really work on being yourself. That's really the most important thing, because that's how you make people give a fuck. It's like, you guys wouldn't give a fuck about me if I was just like flaccidly doing just exactly what Jerry did. There has to be something behind it. I feel like people think that is what they want John Mayer to be. Everyone wants him to be a copy of Jerry. I don't think so. I think that, like, I don't want him to be a copy of Jerry, but like, I don't like his voice. That's what it is for me. But I don't know what other people put on that dude. Do I turn my volume up when I start a solo? No, I've usually got a my lead pedals are cranked. You know what I mean? So like, I've got a Spark, and I've got the Jer Drive, and I got the Green Screamer, and I got the DS1, and all of those are louder, so they push. Do I get down a little Allman Brothers? Sometimes. I'll listen to some Allman Brothers. I don't really go out of my way for it, but I'll listen to some. Let the music tell you what to do. Don't tell the music what to do. I like that. Yeah, because you're always trying to serve the song. I've said that before. That's like that. I love that saying. Serve the song. What is okay? So Andrew in Wonderland says, I went to see Grateful Shred in Vegas and they fucking killed it. Does your band do a drum and space part for your shows? Sometimes. Does my amp go up to 11? Absolutely. It goes up to 13. Sometimes we'll do a drum and space thing, but I'm really excited. So Saturday is the first St. Owsley show. It's my Jerry Band tribute that I'm doing. I'm really excited about that. And it's going to be good. But all right, guys, I think I've talked your ear off enough for this one. Leave a like if you could. This one kind of feels like a dud. Again, I'm sorry. I'm tired as fuck. I have barely slept in weeks. So I'm sorry for wasting your time. I love you very much. Depending on the parts and the timing, you can lead the music and you can be led by it. I just think as long as you're serving the song and not yourself, I think that's the most important thing, because it's not about you. You're there to be a conduit for you're there to be a conduit. You're there to like bring stuff out of the ether, and if you're doing it for yourself, you're not doing it. But yeah. I love you guys. And again, sorry. I'll apologize for being a terrible musician. Breadbox one day? Absolutely. We will do a breadbox someday. All right. I love you. Come if you're a patron, if you are on the Patreon. If you're not, go join the Patreon. But if you are a patron, $5 and up, tonight we are doing a flashback flicks, and it is going to be Home Alone 2 and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We watch movies with you guys, and we watch 2 movies with you guys every second Thursday of each month. Well, thank you, one here. Thank you, guys. I mean, I have a lot of perspective, and I got opinions on stuff, so whatever. But I love y'all, and we'll see you soon, okay? Mwah.